Hi everybody, Steve Elliott here. Hope you're having a great day. I've been looking at a piece of software, or I should say app, called Expresii. It's a watercolour painting app, a watercolour simulation, and it is very, very different to anything I've ever tried before. These people have been thinking outside the box. It's quirky, it's weird, it's fast, no lag with it, considering it's a watercolor emulator. You can get a trial download if you want to give it a go. It will last for 50 times, not 50 days or 30 days, but for 50 times, which to me seems a better option than 30 days, because you could install it, leave it for a week or so, and come back to it. I'm not being paid to make this video. I'm not being sponsored or anything like that. Somebody left a comment in on one of my videos saying this. I think it was actually Expresii that left the comment saying, just have a look at this. I looked at it, thought it was absolutely amazing. I've just been playing around with it all morning, so this is what I've come up with. It's not the best painting in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but I've just had so much fun. So let's just get into it and see what you guys think. So this is an app called Expresii. It's only available on the PC. It does say you can use it on a Mac, but you have to have Boot Camp installed, which is like a dual operating system, so you're running it under Windows. But first thing of all, I want to show you this. It's just for watercolor, and you have a set of brushes. You've only got 3 brushes, and this is your tools. All your tools are accessible from these few tabs. So we've got the color picker. This is the default color picker, where you can change colors simply by tapping on these. I don't like them at all. I much prefer to use the color wheel and select my color from there. But as you can see, colors blend quite nice, but this is a very dry brush. We've only got 3 brushes. We've got fine, all-purpose and large, and I'm using the all-purpose set at level 5. So that's the first thing, but it is really, really flexible, because I can add water by tapping on this little blue circle. I can also use the slider to move the water up and down by moving the stylus over this water drop there. And I can also use some key shortcuts as well. But once you've had water, you see it's acting like watercolor, and you can fill that in. I can change the color, and so that it will just sort of mix. And it's interesting that the orange and the blue make green. I guess it could do if it was, so it's yellow and blue really makes green, but I suppose there's some yellow in orange. But anyway, that's quite interesting. We've got different modes for the brush as well. So I've got this sort of this selected here, which is like looks like a pencil point with a Z next to it to me. If I tick that off, you'll notice that these color bars at the top change, and I've got a set of different default colors I can use. So purple and violet will allow me to paint with this sort of green and purple. It's taking more of the green, and I choose the rubber duck. It's sort of blending those colors together. And if I take more of the water out, then I get this sort of calligraphy style thing. There's no pencils in this app, so you can't draw with a pencil, but you can do a sketch in another app and then import the drawing if you wanted to paint over that. We've also got this other mode by clicking on this little rectangle here. It just sort of does away with all of the colour, and it's just like painting with having your brush loaded with water. You can see I can push water into that. There we go. That's all very cool. Can you tilt the paper? Yes, you can. There's a function here where I can tilt the paper like that. So this is the second tab, which looks like I don't know, picture frame, and there's this rectangle that I can tilt with the stylus. Then when I add water, you can see it starts to flow. If I tilt it that way, what's going to happen? It flows to the side. So you can do nice sort of dreamy skies with it. Let's just set that back to center. Layers is really weird. If I go into layers, you've only got 3 layers. This is the weirdest I've ever used ever. But you've got one layer, which I've been working on. I can then move that layer down to the layer below it. So that's now not being used, and I'm drawing on a new layer. So if I go back to my color and I'll just choose a black, take some of the water out of it. There you go. I can start to draw over this layer. And if I want to get back to the first layer again, I go to layers, and then there's this sort of 2 arrows below the there's a bucket to delete, there's the move down arrow, and then the swap. So I can swap them, and then this blue one is back on the top, and I can sort of put a black mark on that. Change my brush to just the water. Let's whack loads of water on the brush, and I can soften that, but it's not softening this on the top layer, although it does seem to take ink away from it, but doesn't damage the top layer, which is quite nice. And then I can go to the layers and merge them down. So now I'm working on a new layer. Let's merge that one down and put this one back to the top. And I can sort of blend over all of those. And if I choose my fine brush, say, with just the black ink, if I draw into that, I've got maximum water in there. Let's just take some of the water out of the brush, have it at 5. You can see where there's water, it does dilute the paint. So you've got a really, really effective watercolor engine here. And to click down the left hand side, we've got a set of tools. We can open a new document, save, switch to eraser. So I'll do that actually. Let's go into eraser, and you can see I can lift out color, swap back to the brush. Oh, I've got water in the brush. Or am I still using the eraser? That's it. Back to so while you're in the eraser, I didn't know that, you can then use different brushes to lift out. Oh, that's cool. So you can lift dry brush out of it, all very cool. So I'm going to do a painting now. I should say this app costs $69. It was $89, so it seems very fair to me. I should say it's got this weird, and everything about the app's weird. If you create the size of a document, you create it in units. It doesn't say what the units are. It's just a unit. So this is, I think this is an 8 by. I wonder if there's a way I can find out what it is. It's a 12 by 8 unit, but when you come to export it, you can then decide what size it's going to be. And I have had a go at exporting this, and it came out at the first setting was set at sort of 6,000 pixels by something absolutely ridiculous. And I was able to export it as a PNG, a transparent PNG, so you could sort of do cool t-shirt designs and things with it. So that just blew me away straight away. Everything about this app seems totally weird. The fact you've only got 3 layers and you just keep sort of shuffling around and merging them down is really weird. But anyway, down here we've got a clear layer, and if I touch that, that clears absolutely everything on all the layers. If I go to the layers, you can see they're now all empty. So you've got to be careful when you use that. And I'm going to try and just see if I can paint something. So here we go. I'm going to go to I think I want a blue color, and I'm going to choose tropical fish. Okay, I'm going to have my water way up to max, and this tool I'm going to put both the sliders, the deposition controllers, right down to the left, and you get this really cool effect. Not that I've tried this before, one I prepared earlier. Where the water pushes the paint away as you go in, so you get this kind of water effect. And then I could choose the just water on the brush, swap to a large brush, make it maximum size, and just sort of push some water into here. Get this really kind of cool effect. Wonder if I could drop some other colours onto it. Oh, you've got this cool spray brush as well, actually. If I go to brushes, this is really weird. It's best not to use it as with the large brush I've found. I'll use it with the all-purpose one. I'm going to change the colour. Let's go something like that. And it just sort of splatters it. Maybe because I've got so much water on. Oh, and I've got no colour. Try it now. Maybe we need to take the water down a little bit. I think the colour's just getting diluted. You can add sort of splashes to your painting with that airbrush, which I thought was quite cool. So what I want to do now is go back to my layers, merge that one down with that one. So that's now all merged together. I'm in this top layer. I'm going to draw with my fine brush. So I'm going to go back to the colour. I want a kind of a colour like that. I don't want a lot of water. I want a new layer. I've got these two settings in the middle. So I've got a fairly fine brush, and let's see. Be better if I actually chose the brush, wouldn't it? Fine brush, here we go. That's it. And in my water, I'm going to draw a fish, I think. So this is made up. There we go. I can use water with it to soften off edges, blur away lines. But what I don't want is all of this blue that's in the fish. So I need to swap the layers around again. And go to the eraser. I choose the all-purpose brush, probably do it a bit quicker. There we are. Taking that out. So I've now got a fish drawn in there, so I can go back to my fish layer, or I can use the water mode. Oops, still got the eraser on. Not cool. Just blend some of this water. Like that. Now, swap the layers around. And I want to go in with a black, I think. Now, if I want to use just a single colour, if I tap this tool here, I can then start painting with just one colour. Take the size down of the brush a bit. And I can start adding some colour there. I've got max water in there, so I'm just going to thin it down a bit. So this is I guess it's going to be a koi carp when it's done. I'm just experimenting. I'm not, it's not not saying this is a work of art or anything like that. Just having a lot of fun, actually. There we go. Use my water brush again to soften off blend. I love the way you can just sort of reshape the colour. Crikey, I've just looked at the old thing for the first time at a distance, and it looking a bit haphazard, to say the least. But you know what? I'm having a lot of fun, so that's what it's all about, isn't it, really? Just sort of illustrating what you can do with these colours, the way they all sort of blend and merge. I love it. So I could now, in effect, go into, I'm going to merge both the layers together. So merge that down and then bring them back up to work on them both. And then I'm going to want to get an eye in this fish, really. So I need to put that on the layer below. I can go down one more layer actually and say that's finished, so it's sort of on this layer where it's not going to get touched again. And then I can go back to my brush. Let's choose a fine brush. I don't want too much water in this. I want a black. And you've got to remember to, if you're using the mixed colour, you've got to keep your stencil on the colour wheel to choose the colour. Let's just paint an eye in. On my fish. Choose the water. Let's go right up to 12. And it in a little bit. That's cool. I like my eye. I wonder if I can bring that layer right back up again. Yeah, I can. I can merge the eye into that, bring that back up, and keep working on this. So it really is quite weird, the layers. So that's a little bit of a watercolor sketch. Let's sign it. Let's see if I can get a signature on here. I'll take the brush thickness down to 1. Go back to color. Make sure I haven't got the water too high. And where shall I sign it? Sign it here. Oh, let's undo that. Go. Let's just put this on the layer below it. So I'm working on a dry layer. Right, I think I need a bit more water in the brush. Try it at 6. Right, that's not cool. Doesn't seem to want to work for me. I wonder if I need to. I think I've got everything So, okay. So I'm going to sign it down here actually. I can't write with it. It won't write. What's wrong with this thing? Let's add a bit more water. Ah. Well, that's my weirdest signature ever. And what I haven't showed you so far, when you zoom in, I don't know why there's a grid on that. Look at the detail. Absolutely amazing. Well, there's a grid on that. It doesn't pixelate. Really is exceptional. Very nice app. So there we go. That is trying out Expresii. I'd love to know what you guys think of this. It's a free download. You can get it. You can use it for 50 times. I encourage you to have a go with it because I've never tried. I mean, even it's very, very different to Rebel. I love it, and I'm going to be doing. I'm going to experiment. I'm going to try doing some pencil drawings and then bringing them in and colouring them and seeing what I could do with it. This was just a bit of fun, and I was just sort of pushing the colours around and got this sort of abstract watercolour fish thing going off. But just to see, you know, not really a painting, just to try out all the techniques really. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, a big thumbs up as always is much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing because I've got lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.